Welcome back, everybody, to the super ultra duper extra mega exciting playthrough of Hyperdimension Neptune for the PlayStation 3, Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 for the PlayStation Vita, and Neptunia Reverse for the PlayStation 5, the original Hyperdimension Neptunia game, the remake, and the remaster of the remaster of the remake. And I'm joined by my friend David. Say hello to the people.
Everyone, Mike Papo here. Welcome.
Yes, the Skyrim of Weeaboo games is back and better than ever for the 15th episode. Oh, by the way, I totally messed up. Episode 16 is gonna be really long when we do get to it because I forgot how long the Momus fight was. How long do you think the Momus fight? You know, the fake god that is hyped up in the first game, but is actually real in the remakes.
Oh right, that whole thing.
Yeah. You know how
I'm gonna go 30 minutes.
The Overlord Momus fight in Neptunia Reverse, on average, assuming you're not exploiting the game with the speedrun tactics, is 1 hour long.
Holy fuck.
And he's basically, for those of you who played Final Fantasy 13, he's basically Orphan, in that it has a one-hit kill move that kills any character it targets. Luckily for you, it only targets one character, just like Orphan does. At the start of the fight, it drops all of your characters to like next to 0 HP, just like the Orphan fight. It'll resist most of your attacks, so you better have a magic user and a physical user, because it switches its weaknesses as the battle progresses. It's also just really hard hitting in general. At my levels, there were some attacks that would just do 0 damage because it switched its resistance and weaknesses. Key note though, that's just like a random boss in this game. What Orphan in Final Fantasy 13 is the final boss. Yet they're designed very similarly. What do you think?
Wait, say again the last part?
The Momus fight in this game and Orphan from Final Fantasy 13 are very similar boss fights. The only difference is that Orphan was the final boss of that game, and Momus is just some random boss like near the end of the game. Further,
and also, I looked it up. It isn't even a unique model.
No,
it's just the deity of sin.
Yep, they just reused it because they had it from Mark II, which pisses me off, man. It's like people who played Rebirth 1, because I saw this with the Lost Pause Let's Play. He plays Rebirth 1, and then he gets to Rebirth 2, and he sees the Deity of Sin, he says, oh, that's Momus. No, and then I realized he played Rebirth 1, he didn't play the original. So of course he wouldn't know, right? His chat had to tell him that, it's a different timeline. Like, really? Like, yeah. Although I will be honest though, that Momus fight is harder than the Deity of Sin final boss in Mark II. So if you can beat the Momus fight, you can beat Mark II the entire game. I'm genuinely that confident. Specifically where my mistake is that I only have, by the end of episode 16, 2 key fragments in the original, but I have already freed Isti in the remix.
Are they really?
Which means that there's an entire Lean Box quest that I haven't done, and a Last Station quest that I haven't done in order to free Histoire. So, after episode 16 or 17, it's just gonna be HDN until I free Histoire, which thankfully saves me time in the editing room, but it does kind of break the whole playing all 3 versions at once thing, you know?
What we're talking about these games, we oh my god, what is wrong with me? I've been unable to talk about it forever. So, you're aware of how we're getting the Rebirth 1, 2, and 3 on PS4 coming in fall, right? Are you gonna get those, or...?
I got them on Switch.
Okay, yeah, but you're not getting on PS4. Okay, I guess we can talk... what are we gonna talk about? Why it takes so long just to get those onto other consoles?
Because, dude, I hate to admit it, but, like, Idea Factory Compile Heart, they can make a great RPG. They are not good businessmen. I hate to admit it, but it's true. Let's put it this way. By this point, I have recruited all 4 goddesses in the remake and the remaster, and the remake of the remaster. I don't have a single goddess other than Neptune in the original game.
You fought them all, but well, you fought them, but you haven't got them yet.
I haven't even fought Vert once, dude.
Actually, I know that, but now they talk about Vert, we're probably the good way to move on to the next part of the conversation. Let's talk about what do we think happened ever since the last time we played this game. Xbox finally is getting a handheld console.
It's not a console, it's a portable computer.
It still counts. It has the name of Xbox on it, so it still counts.
It doesn't count, because then the Steam Deck would be considered a console, but it's not. It's a portable PC.
People consider it a console, so...
It's not considered a console on a technological level.
Look, you may not consider what people do, so...
It's not about me considering it a console, it's about a definition. On a definition basis, it is not a console. It is not a closed ecosystem, which is what is required to be considered a console. It is an open ecosystem. It's a PC.
Well, to the general populace, literally everywhere I look online, with my friends, Twitter, people have called the Steam Deck a console.
And they're wrong!
So, well, even if they're wrong, it doesn't matter. That's literally enough for it. Point being, the Xbox still has a new point being, Xbox has a new handheld under their name. That better?
It's actually a handheld under the Republic of Gamers name. It just happens to be branded with Xbox buttons.
Okay, let me phrase this. It's a new handheld under the Xbox branding. Better?
Yes, but it's not.
Okay. Point being, People are now talking about the possibility of Vert now having a sister.
You know what I think is gonna happen? They're gonna have like a scene where Vert gets an intern, and that's the Republic of Gamer ally.
You know, that could be. But the thing is, though, even if they do make a new character for the ally, it's not going to be in the new one. That's it. The thing is too recent for them to bring it in the new game.
I still want to see it. I still need to see some footage of that first. Because after Game Maker and Dagu, I don't trust these guys.
I'm hoping we're getting it soon. Like, the anniversary is in, like, what, August?
I think so.
Yeah, so we should be still 2 months away.
The 15th anniversary. Wait a minute. 15? 06 was the 15th anniversry game. This is about to be the greatest Nep game ever.
Okay, dude, don't get your hopes up.
Don't get my hopes.
Look, I want that game to be good too, but let's not try to over.
Feel like a pile hard at Idea Factory.
Yeah. I do trust. I do trust them to make a new game. They have made plenty of great games before. Mega Dimension, SVS was pretty good. We're just gonna wait and see.
SVS is just not replayable. That's my issue with it. Like, you can play through SVS and enjoy it from beginning to end, but try to start up a new playthrough. You can't. It's so difficult. Like, that's the biggest issue. Like, Rebirth, like V2, for example, I played through V2 and then played through it again on the next day. Like, I've done that before. I can't do that for SVS.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, I've been playing... Oh, yeah. The Switch 2 upgrade for V2 is amazing. Okay? Finally running that game at 1080 120 or 4K 60 is beautiful. Considering how crappy it ran on the original Switch. 720p, 22 FPS? What was this, dog? That's worse than the PS2 era gaming.
Damn.
Okay, that would have been acceptable on PS2 on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. But it's not 2004 anymore, guys. So playing that game as it should have looked on the Switch 2. Because honestly, I bought the Switch 2 to make my Switch games run better. There is still nothing on the Switch 2 other than Mario Kart that I was like, I gotta get it.
Not even Bonanza?
No, I'm not getting Bonanza. I'm probably not.
Okay. Oh my god. I feel like I'm having several strokes at a time.
You talk... First of all, it's because you and me, our opinions on gaming are so radically different. It's a miracle we have anything in common.
No, I'm talking about my whole difficulty to even speak.
Oh, right.
The point is,
go ahead.
Did you see the direct for Bonanza?
Yes, I did.
Okay, after looking at that, you still aren't gonna get it. We're finally getting a 3D Donkey Kong game. After it's been so long since the last new one.
Well, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Donkey Kong 64, mind you.
I never played on a Donkey Kong game at all in my life. But well, I'm gonna get this game because it looks amazing.
Like, I liked Donkey Kong on the arcade. That game was fire. That game is so good.
I actually never played the arcade Donkey Kong.
Hey, if we got another one of those, I'd be all in. But it's like, that's another thing. It's like, you and I have different tastes in terms of like era of game as well, not just style of game.
I guess.
Like let's say an FPS game comes out. Okay, if I see an FPS game and I see that it doesn't have sprint, it doesn't have clamber, it doesn't have ADS, but it has proper, you know, the circle on the bottom left where you can see all the enemies?
Map?
Yeah, proper like map like that. You scope, but if you get shot during the scope, you de-scope kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, if it played like that, like a old school FPS, and not even boomer shooter, like just like more classic FPS is the better way to phrase it, I would be all in. But I think that if you saw a classic FPS or a boomer shooter, I don't think you would jump at it.
I probably won't, maybe, I don't know.
Like, if they remastered GoldenEye for the modern era, but it controlled exactly how it did back in the 2000s and 90s, I don't think you'd be in.
You're probably maybe right.
Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, Bonanza looks good, it's just, like, I don't really care. Because here's the other problem, right? You know how many games I have?
I don't, how many?
I have enough games, physical and digital, that I could go the rest of my life without buying a single game and I would never finish. It's like, there's a reason why I don't really care that game prices is going up. I don't really care that games are going into digital keycards. I don't need it. If there's something like the only digital keycard game I've ever bought was Bravely Default for the Switch 2. And the only reason I even got that game is because I had Bravely Second End Layer and Brave by Default 2 on the 3DS. So I figured,
I say,
yeah, fuck it, let's try it. I don't care that it's keycard. Because one of the things, like, you know about the Nintendo keycard issue, right? The keycard issue.
Yeah.
So super evil keycard issue. Even though it's really not that big of a deal.
And agree to the game, but go on.
I'll explain why. The keycard issue that everyone thinks is going on is the fabled DRM from the 2000s era of DRM keycard shit. Because this keycard stuff isn't new, okay? Every Assassin's Creed is technically a keycard if you want to make it the argument. Okay, most modern games aren't even on the freaking cart anymore. Pokemon BDSP isn't even fully on the cart. Okay, you have to download the post game off the internet. Did you know that? You can't access the post game if you just play the game on version 1.0.
I know that.
Like, so many games are already keycards. I genuinely don't freaking care, okay? Because the reason people care so much is because of shit that went down in 2000s. You can't play certain versions of Fabled anymore because the DRM completely closed. And the reason for that is because you needed to be online to play those games, and those games were never installed onto your computer. They were always streamed. Whereas, let's say I get the keycard of Bravely Default, which I have done that. If I switch my Nintendo Switch to offline mode, which I can very easily do, as long as I have the physical cartridge for Bravely Default, the keycard itself, that is the DRM check. Even if I'm offline, I just need to insert the cartridge, and the game runs just fine, even offline. So it's not like the case of Fabled, where after a certain amount of years, you just won't be able to play the game. Sure, after a certain amount of years, you won't be able to download the game, but if you already have the game from here, and you go play the game in like 20 years, it'll still be there. It's not the issue that we used to have, because I understand the argument, the DRM argument, because yes, there were some old games from the 2000s that you literally cannot play anymore because of how the DRM was set up. I think that's bullshit. That should not have ever happened. But the way that the keycards are set up now, I don't care.
Say that now, but we'll see if it changes.
No, just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. If not for the keycard, the third-party publishers would just say digital only. They wouldn't even make the physical. The reason they use the keycard is because it's cheaper to produce the keycard than it is to produce the physical cartridge on the game on the cartridge.
Okay.
Furthermore, the physical cartridge games are limited to 64 gigabytes. How many games, modern games, go beyond 64 gigs?
Are they, like, from what I've seen, they're probably a lot.
Yeah, you can't. The problem is with Nintendo, they're still using cartridges, outdated tech from the 80s. Yes, the cartridges have been improved since the 80s, don't get me wrong, but the foundation of the cartridge system is literally based off a design that was made 40 years ago. And as such, there are limitations. By creating the game keycard system, you allow for bigger games to be put on the hardware. You could not fit, say, Street Fighter 6. I believe Street Fighter 6 is the one that you can't fit. There's one of the games. No, it's Hogwarts Legacy. You can't fit Hogwarts Legacy onto a Switch cartridge. It is just not possible with the current technology. Well, technically it's possible, but the cost is so high you wouldn't do it. You would just lose money. Or you would have to charge $90 for that shit, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how big Harry Potter is. Apparently it's huge, but I don't think anybody's paying $90 to play fucking Harry Potter.
They don't want to pay for it because they don't want to support J.K. Rowling.
Well, I don't know about that shit, okay? All I know is that, what's it called? Hogwarts Legacy was the highest selling game of 2023. That's all I know.
It is, yeah, you're right about that.
Okay? Hey, I don't know what the fuck J.K. Rowling did, I don't give a shit. Anyhow. It was like, oh, yeah, like those kind of games just wouldn't fit on the cartridge because the cartridge is an outdated system that Nintendo just keeps around because, well, I don't know why they keep it around. Probably because it gets rid of load times and shit. Now, obviously not for everything, but it does decrease load times. That is like one of the huge advantages of cartridge hardware is that you don't need an SSD to reduce load times. That is the biggest advantage, without question. So no, I don't really hate the keycard system. I don't think it's that bad. Hell, the biggest issue with the biggest actual thing about the keycard issue is you can get your game digitally. But let's say I want to return it. I can get my digital game, I can install it onto my system, play it for a bit, and then if I don't like it, I could return the keycard to the store, I could sell it on eBay, whatever, it's fine. The problem with like a fully digital game is you can't even do that. You can't even put it on eBay or anything. So the one detriment of digital is kind of gone with it. Yeah, I would rather, if it's up to me, I would rather every single game come physical. But with the current cost of things, that's just not feasible.
I guess the point would say it makes sense.
You suppose? What's the issue? I'm curious.
I just don't like the idea of how having a physical state but not being able to own the game itself. Like, I just don't quite like that.
Okay, I'm gonna point something. You haven't owned games since the 360 and PS3 era. Xbox One, you didn't own shit. PS4, you don't own shit. PS5.
Okay, and your point, I still don't like it, so I don't see why you're bringing this up.
Well, because you still buy games on those other systems.
That doesn't mean I don't like it. I legit don't care about. I don't care about the logic, the reasoning. I don't like it. They're in the story.
I don't know. It's like those people who are like, drop the price of Mario Kart World. Those were the same motherfuckers who bought it day one for 80. It's like they're not gonna drop the price if they buy it for 80. Okay?
I'm more or less gotten used to the price itself. It's not that big of a deal to me anymore.
Well, I mean, like, to me, the idea of standardized pricing for games was always weird. Like, it made things easy to keep track of mathematically. But the truth of the matter is, some games are just better than others. It's like, I would never, and I mean, I would literally never pay more than 20 bucks for a modern Halo game. Because I don't think they're good. If they come out with Halo 7 and it's $80, I'm just not buying it. Because that is the advantage that you have in a capitalist system. You can just say, I'm not buying that shit. And then move on with your life, you know?
Alright.
What the hell is happening to the Vita game? Why am I lagging so badly?
I don't know. I wonder what's about to say. Why the fuck did it just think forever?
It shit the frames. What happened there? You know, oddly enough, Stellar Blade is completely on disc. You don't need to download a patch or anything. You play it completely offline. You don't give a fuck. So technically that game is not a digital key. That's a full game on the cartridge. But at the end of the day, you own the physical disc, you just don't own the game inside it. Whoop-de-doo. How did I not notice that the lag was that bad when I was recording?
I have no idea how, because this should be noticeable.
You know what I think it was? Then again, I have a really high tolerance to, like, bad performance. Like, I have a really high tolerance for that. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I'll play Neptunia at 22 FPS. I don't give a shit. Hell, I upgraded my PC the first time to play V2R. I don't care. Yeah, you know when we did the V2R versus V2 race, I actually upgraded my PC just so I could run the game properly?
Yeah.
I actually upgraded my PC so that the game would run properly.
Really?
Yeah, because that game is unoptimized. Oh, this fucking fight on the top left with the original game. You need to preemptively activate regen and happy potion. Otherwise, you're going to die. So before the battle even starts, have Neptune activate happy potion.
I see. By the way, I had a freaking Colossus.
It's badass, isn't it?
That thing is literally from Shadow of the Colossus.
I'm telling. See, this is what I mean. Like, look at the Garuda from Reverse on the bottom screen, and then look at Giant Bull. Which of these enemies looks more dangerous?
Giant Bull.
Exactly, man. Man, old Nep games just had such cool enemy design. What happened, man? Oh, tell me why, guys. Sometimes I feel like I play Neptunia because I have so much reverence for the first two games. Like, I really do think that sometimes. Like, would I have played Game Maker if I wasn't such a huge fan of the first two Neptunia games? I don't know, and that's the weirdest thing with me. It's like, am I just trapped in this game ideologically? Like, do I just have so much deference to the first two games that I can look past everything that the other games do?
Maybe? I don't know.
This is like, Sega Hard Girls, Neptunia RPG, and V2, I think are so good that they are on the level of Mark II in the original. Like, I genuinely think that. But then we get to the other games and I'm like, dude, if I didn't play Neptunia 1 and 2, I would never play this shit. And like, Action Unleashed, I don't think is that good of a Nep game going back to it. Cyberdimension is good, but holy crap, that game is unoptimized. Dude, my PC, my fucking PC, $2,000 PC runs that game at 50 FPS. What happened? Actually, what happened? Why do I need to install mods that the fans made to fix the frame rate?
Good as mine.
Reverse is a game that I'm playing just for this playthrough. After this playthrough, I don't think I'm ever touching Reverse again. And honestly, the same probably goes for Rebirth 1, because in the back of my mind, whenever I play these two games, I'm thinking to myself, I could be playing the original right now.
Don't think I won't be watching. You can count on me.
Why did they remake the first game for the 10th anniversary?
I have no idea.
That has never made sense to me. Like, I get that you want your whole, oh, this is Neptunia on the PS5 moment. And don't get me wrong, I still think this is the best looking Nep game. While it's true that here we go back to our conversation on graphic stylization, and so on and so forth. Graphically speaking, the highest detailed, highest polygon count versions of the characters are the ones in Game Maker and Sisters vs. Sisters. But stylistically, the best looking Nep characters, I think, are on Reverse. That makes sense?
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about specifically the models, not the sprites, not the live 2D stuff, but specifically the models in the game.
If talking about the models, then yeah, that makes sense.
Because if we're talking about the sprites, then I think that the original and Mark II have the best looking ones. Okay, like this rendition of Compa here is my favorite Compa rendition.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on this kind of topic? Like, where would you rank, like, the rendition for the models and then the sprites? Like, where do you put your top?
I don't know.
No. It's crazy that we did a whole ass dungeon and we still haven't finished the Giant Bull.
But what I want to know how they got away with bringing a Colossus.
Dude, they got away with Pokemon. They can get away with it.
Yeah, I suppose.
In Super Neptunia RPG, there's a trainer called Red, who was a Pokemon master with a B.
Oh my god.
And they got away with that shit.
My turn.
Okay, they got away with that. And they were proud of it, too. Also, whatever reason, the Super Neptunia RPG version of Neptune is also the stupidest Neptune because she's the only version that canonically cannot read.
Again?
The Neptune in the Super Neptunia RPG timeline, she can't read. And canonically, that Neptune is illiterate, which means she can't even play JRPGs.
For her.
Yeah. I hear Chrono Trigger was really good in the 90s. I hear. It was good in the 90s. Not even close.
I never played Chrono Trigger.
You should. It's fun. I love the ice outfit for Neptune here.
It does look pretty good on her.
And in this,
Especially those snowflake wings. Wow.
How much HP does the Giant Bull have? Can you look that up? 'Cause that's
Okay.
ridiculous. I did 60,000 damage to it. And the funniest thing about that, that monster is absolutely not plot relevant at all. It just came out of nowhere. It was never hyped up. It just showed up, died, and then we move on.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, the whole Compa being stupid thing that the original games did. It's like, by the way, there was this, like, Mr. Heretic walking around, not knowing to point that out to anyone else. She just sees a guy and just, you know, does it. Completely in silence, doesn't give a shit. But yeah, we're very, very behind in the original game, so after part 16 or 17, it's just gonna be the original game until we free East War.
Can't find anything about this thing.
Really? That's crazy. Anyways, gentlemen, have a nice day.